Happy Friday, powerful leaders. I hope you had an amazing week. Oh my gosh, I have an amazing news to share with you all. This is one of my biggest dream that is coming true, and it all started because I followed the nudge. I followed the pull. Sometimes it can be so scary to say yes to your desires and your dreams, and you have no idea how you're going to make it happen, if it's even possible. But crazy things happen beyond your imagination when you actually say yes. And it was probably 3 months ago when I saw this offer online from one of my guests on this podcast. I hope you listened to her episode. Her name is Casey. And I saw she had this 2 day live event in Calgary this summer. And I don't know what called me to it, but I felt this strong, strong pull to be like, hell yes, I'm signing up for this. I don't know how I'm going to figure out all the logistics of it. I'm going to figure it out later, but I'm just saying yes. And then fast forward to maybe a week or two ago when she announced that she was looking for speakers to speak at the event. And I'm like, wait a second. Like, I've always wanted to speak on stage, and inspire people and share my story and truly go outside my comfort zone, right? Because you get used to the online world. You get used to being behind the computer, behind the phone, but actually going live in person, going on stage, like this is like next level outside my comfort zone right here. So I said, you know what? Let me apply for this because I want to do things that challenge me because that's actually how you grow. So I applied, and this week I got the confirmation that I was actually chosen as a speaker. And this is really one of my dreams come true. And if you're free this summer, Calgary, September 29, October 1st, we're going to have this amazing event. It's called the As She Rises event. I'll drop the link if you want to buy your tickets and join us in person in the description below. But without further ado, I want to introduce to you my next guest for today. Her name is Lola, and she is such an amazing person. She's $1 million messaging and marketing consultant. She crafts those powerful messages that truly attracts those clients that will pay you for your expertise. And she's just an amazing, amazing, authentic person. I've been in some of her offers before, and I just knew I had to get her on the show. So yeah, feel free to leave us a review. Let us know your comments. Let us know if you enjoy this episode. I would love, love, love to hear what you have to say and what your thoughts are. And yeah, I'm just too excited. Let's just jump in this interview already. Welcome to the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Patricia Bourgeois, certified business coach. I am here to help you up-level, generate consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract dream clients, and master your mindset so that you can fully own your power and achieve next-level results in your online business and beyond. Every week, a powerful conversation will take place with amazing guests, or I'll share from my experience to help inspire you to start and scale the business of your dreams while being powerfully you. The time has come to stop playing small, stop hiding, and stop waiting. Now is the perfect time for you to passionately pursue your heart's desire as the powerful leader you were born to be. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I am here today with the one and only Lola. Hey, girl.
Hi, Anna.
How are you? I'm so excited you're here.
I'm so good. I've been like, oh.
Yeah, so tell us who you are, what you do, and what got you into what it is that you do.
Well, that's a really good question. So my name is
Mhm.
Lola Oyafemi, and I am a wordsmith because I'm trying to say like, how do I define everything I do? I
Yeah.
I help people clarify their messages so that
Mhm.
it gives them the best impact. But I also teach
Mhm.
people about how to tell their stories in a way that they get sales. And I'm
Mm.
also a person who loves talking about psychology and communication theories and all those geeky and nerdy things when it comes to marketing and sales. And so I feel like all together, my biggest goal is to help people actually be able to sell what they want to sell without trying to
Mm.
be like someone else, without hiding behind a strategy that doesn't work, but really being able to come out and just say, this is what I have to offer. And I'm going to give them all the tools or all the words to use to sell that thing so powerfully.
Yes. Ah, I love that. You're like a genius with messaging and marketing. And I've been in one of your offers before, and I love like your energy and how you teach and how supportive you are. Like it's truly amazing. And I want you to share with us like what truly got you into marketing and messaging. Like have you ever thought you would be doing this like growing up? Like what did you think like your profession would look like, or what would you be doing, you know?
Well, growing up, my biggest goal was to make Oprah. So I
Oh.
always thought, yes, I always thought I was going to be a TV star. And so when I went to high school, I was in sciences, and towards the end, I don't know, it just clicked for me like, you don't like blood and you want to be a TV star. You're not going to do that by reading microbiology. So I literally had to fight. I told my dad, and my dad was like, "So what do you want to do now?" And I said, "I want to change to the arts and read mass communication." And I was like,
Mhm.
"Nobody ever does that. Like, why didn't you say that 3 years ago?" And so I had to wait a year. So I was at home a year. All my classmates, entered university and everything. And then
Mhm.
before I went, and I studied mass communication, and now everything was about being in broadcast. And so I started working in radio at 18. And I was thinking like I'm
Mm.
going to be the superstar. But 4 years down the line, I was drained because radio
Mm.
is different in the sense that
Yeah.
when you are in the media, you're always talking about all the problems of the world, but you can't really do anything about it. So it's like
Mm.
you're always like this echo chamber, like this person is bad and that person is bad and the government is evil, and we go on and we talk and we analyze and we
Mm.
bring analysts, and at the end of the whole day, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And so when I left media, I was like, I want to be in a place where I can do something. And I was on,
Mm.
so that's when so I started saying, okay, let me check marketing. I think it's something because I do communication. Let me see if it's something I can do. And so
Mm.
gradually, how many failed businesses? Yeah.
Yeah, that's such an incredible story. I love that. Like I was the same way. I was like, I'm gonna be on radio or TV or something. And then when I found podcasting, I was like, wait a second, this is like my own radio show. I love it already. I mean, I want you to share like a client win or, something, a result or something that happened that left you like, wow, like this is what I do and I love it so much.
Okay. So I feel like the biggest win I've had,
Yeah.
not the biggest win I've had, but the one that made the most impact on me
Mhm.
was, and it was not a big win. If I look at it like thinking back, it was when so my first ever writing job online
Mhm.
was to write a story. So I'm African, to write three stories about Africa. So I wrote three stories and the person paid me like $25 for it. And the first story was about a time where I was beaten by a teacher and my mom went all African mom of the teacher. The second time was about was about a trip. And the third story was about a domestic violence issue that happened
Mm.
next door. So my first house, the first house I rented, my landlord and one other tenant were having an affair. And one day they just beat each other
Oh,
up in a,
wow.
in a schoolyard. I'd never seen that happen in my life. So I had a really sheltered life where it's like, okay, yeah, I had some trauma and some things, but I never was really exposed to bad things happening to other people and domestic violence. I only saw those things on TV. And for the first time I saw it, and I captured that in a story.
Mm-hmm.
And I submitted the story and they paid me $25. And the woman wrote a book, a compilation of all the stories. And I was seeing my name on Amazon. I was so happy. That was like my biggest win. Even though, it was just $25 for three stories. And I know, yes, it's way less than I won't even think of charging that now. But that
Mm-hmm.
was like, it was so joyful. I still
Yeah.
think about it sometimes.
Yeah, having that recognition and like feeling that impact that we have, it's like no words can describe it, it's so priceless. I love it. So, I ask this to everyone who comes on the podcast, and I'm so curious to know your answer. So, for you, what does it mean to be a powerful leader?
I feel what it means is being able to pay the price when you have to.
Mm,
A lot of people talk about wanting to lead, but when it comes to can you pay the price for leadership, they're not ready to pay that price.
mm,
Sometimes the price for leadership could mean doing the hard thing, even though everyone's doing it easy.
mm,
The price for leadership could mean you being, for example, a coach or a mentor, and you deciding, I'm going to work with my people till they get a result. When the whole industry says you're not responsible for results, and all you have to do is just send people to something. If they get results, fine. If they don't, it's not your business.
mm,
It means being able to stand out for what you believe in and
mhm,
keep believing in that thing. And it's so funny that people every day are looking for leaders, but there are very few people that decide to stand as leaders because leadership is hard. To
mhm,
be a leader, you have to think of things. You have to be the one. You have to constantly think.
mm.
To be a follower is really easy. Like I just have to check Facebook and see what's everybody saying, and just copy it and put on ChatGPT and say, please say this and give me something, and I'm following them, right? But to be a leader means being able to look at
Mhm,
things and say, this this isn't how it should be. This is how it
mm,
should be. And I feel like right now the world needs more leaders. We have so many
mm,
people who say they're leaders. We have so many people who say, I'm a leader and blah blah blah. But leadership is not a title.
mm.
It's it's a way you are.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. Like it's really how you are, how you act, what you believe in. Yeah, for sure. So, what's like one thing you would change in the world? Like, what's one thing you're like, this right here, like, I would change that.
Well, if there's something I could change, there are many things I want to
Yeah.
change. But if there's like just one thing I would change, it'll be removing cancer. Of all the evils in the world, I don't know any evil that's as bad as cancer.
mm,
It's it's such a sick sickness. I don't know if that's the word to use because
yeah.
it's so diabolical. Like every other sickness, if
Hmm.
someone has, for example, whatever sickness, there's a way to control it, right? For example, someone could be a
Hmm.
person could be diabetic, and one of my dad's friends has been diabetic since 1995
Oh, wow.
and he's still alive, right? He just, makes some adjustments with feeding, doesn't take sugar, has this thing, takes insulin, he's living his normal life. Is he healthy? No, but like he could still survive.
Hmm.
But cancer is something that within a year, the person is either spending all their money in chemotherapy or they're so sick, like they're about to die. It's like it's death in
Yeah.
it's the worst thing. So I feel like if I could change anything, that's the one thing I'll change.
Yeah, I'm with you on there. Like, it's horrible. Like, ugh, yeah. If we could change something, that would definitely be it.
That will be it. And I have personal reasons to like my mom.
Yeah.
I've had my mom, my auntie, two of my aunties,
Wow.
just sick,
Yeah.
really sick.
Yeah.
I can't even talk about it.
Yeah. Health is wealth. Like, if you don't have health, wow, it's incredible. We got to be grateful, for health for sure. So, I want you to tell us like one lesson that you could take away from like all your time online in the coaching industry and the marketing and all the things. Like, what's one of the biggest lessons you've learned from the work you do or the people you work with?
Okay, so the biggest lesson isn't even one I learned. It was one that a client of mine told me that someone told him. And that client, so I'm Nigerian.
Mhm.
And before I started working online, a lot of people have perceptions about Nigerians. So
Mm.
Nigerians we're the most populous black nation in the world. If you know five black people, one of them is probably a Nigerian.
Mhm.
And the issue there is that because we're so many, there's really good people and there's really bad people.
Mm.
And so a lot of times people tend to like look at the negatives and use it to judge you. And so when I first came online, I was always thinking like, what if people think I'm Nigerian? What if
Mm.
people don't want to work with me because I'm Nigerian? And I had a sales call with someone and I couldn't afford his program, but he was like, I never thought you were Nigerian when you booked a sales call. I was like, oh, that's true. That makes sense. And so that kind of helped my mindset.
Mhm.
And then later on, when I met this client of mine who's also Nigerian, he was talking to someone, and the person told him, don't let the voice in your head confuse you about the voice in the market. And
Mm.
that's one of the most profound things I've heard. Many times we tell ourselves things. People don't want to buy from because I'm Latino, I'm
Mhm.
black, I'm whatever. But the truth of the matter is if someone needs to have a heart surgery today, they
Mm.
don't care the color of their doctor. They don't care the beliefs. They don't care if the doctor is a Christian or a Muslim or worships the devil. They just want to get better.
Mm.
And that's the mindset I bring, and I always recommend people bring when they come online. Nobody cares
Yes.
about whatever you think they care about. They care about themselves, they care about their problems. And if you hold the solution to their problems, guess what? They're going to bypass all the prejudice, they're going to
Mm.
bypass the stereotypes, and they
Yeah.
will work with you.
Yeah, 100% for sure. Oh my gosh, I love that you said that. Like, yeah, like I personally like always make sure that what I invest in, like I invest like in black women-owned businesses too, because I feel like it's so important to show that support, but also truly be an advocate, and be like, hey, like this person is awesome. Like I want to get her on my show, or I want to do this for her. I want to buy her programs. Like the color of your skin doesn't matter. Like I really look at the value you bring, and that's really why I also created this show, because I wanted to bring a lot of people from backgrounds, from diversities, and or different religions and all the things. And I think it's so beautiful when we all come together, as one, as a community, because we're all the same pretty much. Like,
Yes. And can I share something? Can I
yeah,
share something?
yeah.
I've never, so before I came online, I'm a black woman living in a black country. I'd never thought of myself as black,
Mm.
but it never even occurred to me that I'm black.
Mhm.
So I've heard people say white people are not, but I've never really thought of myself as a black woman. And I'm saying this when you were saying like supporting black
Mhm.
women. I'd never seen myself like that because where I'm
Mhm.
from, everybody's black. There's nothing special about being black. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's the mindset we all have to carry to realize that
Yes.
we all are important. Like we have the same. The world is the same. We all have the same color of blood. We all have
Mhm.
the same organs. But another thing that
Mhm.
happens that's all the same is that if I talk about revenge, you know
Mhm.
about revenge, even though we never grew up in the
Mm.
same household. If we talk
Mhm.
about love, I talk about domestic violence. Domestic violence
Mhm.
happens all over the world. It doesn't just happen in one small
Mhm.
place, it happens everywhere. So we all have these shared experiences and nuances. And the
Mhm.
problem we have, and this is why leadership is so important, is that the whole human race has outsourced leadership to a select
Mhm.
number of people who don't want any other person to get there and whose main goal is to divide us. So you'd
Mm.
see that in every single country in the world,
Yeah.
maybe a couple of exceptions, even in countries where everybody is the same, there always going to be division and there's something. The politics will
Yes.
always divide. It doesn't, and some
Yeah.
people are like, oh, because we have diversity. It's not that. Before the diversity, there was division. In countries like my country is all black, there's still division. It's because humanity
Mm-hmm.
generally, we've outsourced leadership to a select number of people. And those people keep
Mm.
perpetrating themselves over and over again. And when they leave, their kids get there. And it's like, these are the same people. And the whole goal is to divide us because they know that if we have more
Mm.
leaders, we're not going to be divided. If we have more leaders standing out and speaking, we're not going to be falling for the same things that we fell for 10, 20
Mm.
years ago. And so that's why I'm always happy when I see people talk about leadership. And that's why I love your podcast here, because you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about the thing that's literally going to take us from this place where everyone's fighting over things that don't matter to us being able to have really good conversations.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You're so right. Like the division is insane. Like I just wish everyone could love everyone else like each other and like just be like inclusive and happy and like supportive and like
It's
that's
the
really like
politics.
yeah, it's the politics. Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
politics. My first online job was before
Yeah.
I was working in radio and then I got an online job. My first online
Mhm.
job, I was working on a political campaign, and I really realized that politicians really love themselves. We're the ones who are fighting. Honestly, that's one thing that made me never really vouch for any politician.
Yeah.
Like we're the ones who are fighting. We're the ones on Twitter. We're the ones doing all the things. But they will do meetings. Their kids will get married. They will travel together. They will do everything together. The goal is to the goal is to secure the bag. They don't care about whether you fight or you clean. They don't care. Their goal is to secure the bag for them and their kids. And the moment I got that, I just got out of the whole black people are evil, white people hate you. It's not my business because
Mm.
I know that the people who are sitting down driving that narrative, they're getting paid very well to drive the narrative. They're not paying me, and I'm not going to
Mm.
be involved in it.
No, ma'am. Yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing like your perspective. I think it's so true and so like powerful and we got to like talk about it more, you know, and create more awareness around all these issues. Like it's just getting out of hand and yeah, like thank you for sharing all of that. It's refreshing.
It was such an honor to be here.
Yeah, of course. So, do you know, like, have like a last piece of advice or something you truly want to share with our audience filled with women entrepreneurs, women building big dreams and showing up for themselves? Like, what's one thing you would like to tell them?
Um, it'll always be lean on your strengths and not your
Mm-hmm.
weaknesses. There are a lot of
Mm-hmm.
strengths we have as women that men don't have and other people don't have. And we have to learn to lean on it. The problem is society
Mm-hmm.
has said for a long time that those, strengths are weaknesses, but they're not. For example, women are
Mm-hmm.
really good listeners. That's a sales thing. Like if you're a good listener, you're going to be selling like crazy. But we don't lean
Yeah.
into it because the society has said, oh, you should be this way. Oh, you want to start a business, you have to be this macho person shouting and saying fuck all the time. But that's not true.
Mm.
Lean into
Yeah.
your own strengths. What's your strength? Are you great at writing? Then write more. Are you good at speaking? Then speak more. Are you good at just listening to people? Then you should be doing sales calls. Like whatever is your
Mm.
strength, lean into that strength. And I believe that
Mm.
God wired all of us for a purpose, and God has created this uniqueness in us. All of us are like we're just like a one-time thing. Like once I go, nobody
Mm.
in this world is ever going to have my DNA, right? It's like I'm a one time piece. But many times we don't treat ourselves like that. We treat ourselves like
Mm.
we're just mass produced things. We're not. So if you're a woman, you're an entrepreneur, you're among the 1%. A lot of women want to be entrepreneurs, but they can't. So firstly,
Mm.
you're in the 1%. So you have to come with that consciousness. And number two is you have to come to the consciousness that you are an example. And every step
Mm.
you take, people are watching. People are not watching a guy take a step because they know so many guys have taken that step. But you, you are literally setting up a new trail. You're setting up a record, and that's the consciousness we want to. For a long time, women have been marginalized, and now that we get to sit on the table, let's
Mm.
maximize that opportunity. This is not time to play small. This is not time to, think like a man, act like a lady. This is time to think like a woman. like, and show
Mm.
your strength and build something great. Because at this point,
Yes.
women are we're the biggest spenders. So, for example, if you check any reasonable brand, they always have
Mm-hmm.
a female version. Why? Because women spend. There's a lot of money in the
Mm-hmm.
hands of women. The problem
Mm-hmm.
is the money is in the hands of women as consumers. It's not in the hands
Mm.
of women as producers of wealth. So the goal now
Mm-hmm.
that you're an entrepreneur is you're one of the women who is now a producer of wealth, and you have to take it like a serious responsibility. So this is not the time to
Mm.
slack. This is not the time to, do the business for 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks, if it's not working, I'm going back to my job. No.
I know that feeling. Yeah, that's for sure. Like you gotta keep going. Like everyone's cheering for you, your ancestors, like everyone is like, yes, queen, you have that dream. Like people are watching and it's like your duty, to show up for it and put in the work and get the results for sure.
Yes.
Ah, God, every time I talk to you, like I feel so like energized and like inspired. You just like lit up this fire in me to do even better. So thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. Funny enough, I'm always so animated when I'm talking like this, and I don't know why I don't do it so more often.
Yeah, this is your sign to do it more often. Awesome. So I know women will want to go, follow you, learn more about you, your services. So where can they go to do that?
Well, right now I'm strongest on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn too, but you could send me a message there and I won't see it in 2 weeks. But I'm strong. I'm strongest on Facebook, and my Facebook is Lola Oyafemi, um and I have a freebie that
Ooh.
is, but freebie is not about messaging. It's That's my only freebie now. I'm working on my back end to make sure I have more freebies. But the freebie is called a cash campaign playbook. So it talks about the 5 cash campaigns you could easily do to bring in money
Mm.
into your business. But once you're in that freebie, so that's the first freebie. So the second freebie is my newsletter, which again, it's a sporadic newsletter. I could show up
Mhm.
today and I won't show up for the next 2 weeks, and please forgive me. I'm not your mom. I'm just here to I'm here to just inspire you and work with you and everything. But so and that's story sell shine. So just like the two things that you can literally just jump in now and get something out from.
Yes, go get that freebie. Lola is amazing. She's gonna rock your world. Thank you so much for being here today.
Come, I hug you. I'm giving you a virtual hug right now.
Same. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerful Female Leaders podcast. If you love this episode, make sure to spread the message, leave a review, and subscribe. I would forever be grateful for you. I also want to hear from you, and I want to know your feedback and your questions for future episodes. So don't be shy, say hi, and send me a message at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode.